With the artifacts in place, the time is right for the summoning. Oh, how long I have waited for this moment. Scales of diamond and skin of pearls, through the dark portal that swirls. What once was old I command to be new, as green and fresh as baby Badoo. Hear me, I summon thee, arise! Wait, that's not right. Did I do something wrong? Make a cool, edgy-looking symbol with Pokemon memorabilia. Check. Use the incantation. Check. Speak in a creepy voice. No problems there. Make sure to put the Gen 4 god in the center. I did that! There we go. Pokemon has been with me nearly my entire life. From the first time I picked up Charmander as my starter, to befriending the fabulous bunny deer god king of England. I watched the anime, bought the merchandise, traveled to Pokemon centers both in New York and in Japan, simped for Gloria and Wooloo. I even started collecting trading cards again, until they became more valuable than some precious metals. Live streaming has ruined a lot of things for us, but I digress. For 25 years, Pokemon has been beside me, cheering me up, creating special memories that I'll cherish forever. I don't love every spin-off or mainline entry, and sometimes the Pokemon Company frustrates me with their tone-deaf choices, but I still come back ready to play the next game, because I love the IP so much. Yet despite all that, I went into the latest Pokemon presentation with low expectations. Not because I hated Sword and Shield, I actually quite enjoy Gen 8, but because of the recent unambitious and safe spin-offs the Pokemon Company seemed content with pumping out. Okay, what's the next Unite gonna be? Pokemon Battle Royale? Actually, it doesn't sound too bad. You can make that if you want. I expected to see new Pokemon Snap, some spin-offs no one asked for, and maybe Let's Go Shuckle. By the way, I wasn't a huge fan of Let's Go, so I guess you could say I was expecting disappointment for the 25th anniversary of one of my favorite series. I'm gonna ruin this man's entire expectations. Pokemon Legends exceeds my wildest dreams for Game Freak and the Pokemon series. Never did I imagine the company would break away from series conventions and its simplicity in favor of exploring more ambitious projects, but I am thrilled to admit I was wrong. On top of that, we have a separate developer working on a Gen 4 remake that faithfully recreates the original game, but in a chibi art style. Plus, the gorgeous new Pokemon Snap that releases in only a couple months. Unfortunately, I'll have to save my thoughts on the remake and new Pokemon Snap for the next video, because I want to focus on Legends for this one, but believe me when I say I am loving what I am seeing so far. Needless to say, Pokemon fans are eating well for the next 2 years, a tremendous way to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Pokemon. There's no doubt the Pokemon formula has grown stale over the years, even to longtime fans like myself. I don't need the games to try out new genres per se, but each generation only experimented within the confines of the original 2D top-down style of gameplay, even in 3D. Or it stripped the gameplay to its bare bones, leaving nothing but boredom instead. Yes, I am still salty about Let's Go. I don't hate it, but it's not my favorite. Then Gen 8 introduced the Wild Area, slowly integrating non-restrictive exploration and other open-world elements into the series. It was like breathing in fresh air as I walked around Galar's open field, the bagpipes blaring in my ears, filling my soul with emotional rapture as I witnessed the birth of a new era for Pokemon! Until I returned to the restrictive routes to progress the story. Then I realized I was still in a Pokemon game. So the Wild Area turned out to be more of an experimental area than a new page for the series. However, with the completion of Sword and Shield Expansion Pass, we finally have our first taste of what a completely open and free mainline Pokemon game could be like. The only question on my mind at the time when the Crown Tundra released was how long until Game Freak goes all in with the Wild Area concept. Not very long, apparently. Introducing Pokemon Legends Arceus. Yes, I'm still pronouncing it that way because I am a stubborn soul. Arceus just sounds wrong. Arceus! A whole new Pokemon adventure with an actual open world filled to the brim with Pokemon ready to be catched and collected. Set many years ago, Legends Arceus is about roaming the uninhabited region of Sinnoh, catching and documenting the region's first ever Pokedex. This Meiji-era approach to Gen 4 is a unique look at a region that was already brimming with lore, so it's exciting to dive deeper into that rich backstory. Granted, who knows how much story Game Freak will actually include in the game, especially compared to recent entries. Let's just say I haven't been too impressed with the Pokemon story since Gen 5. That said, perhaps Legends doesn't need much of a story to captivate players, as long as the gameplay hooks them, similar to Breath of the Wild. Hey, he took a jab at Breath of the Wild story, and I'll do it again too! Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Legends Arceus takes another page from Breath of the Wild, borrowing the Calamity Ganon Force of Nature approach. Perhaps Arceus sits at the center of the map, respawning defeated Pokemon and maybe causing some monsters around the region to go berserk with power. Ooh, maybe catching some of the legendary Pokemon like Palkia and Dialga weakens Arceus, encouraging the player to search everywhere for these legendaries? Sorry, too many theories. I mean, Arceus could be minding its own business in the middle of the mountain. Whatever the case, I'm positive Mount Cornet at the center of the region acts as Arceus' home base, and maybe you can attempt to catch it whenever, although it would probably be recommended to fight the god Pokemon with a strong 6-party team. That approach could work, even if it is similar to Zelda's latest entry. Honestly, I would love a plot involving the original Team Galactic or some other sinister force, instead of another man versus nature story in an open world game. But if a more linear kind of narrative restricts the player's freedom too much, then man versus nature it is. Or in this case, man versus God. You dare defy me, the almighty god of Pokemon! If it means I can ride on your back, then yes. Huh. Very well. To battle! There's only one way to fight a god. Go, Bidoof! Huh? God versus God! For a Pokemon game, Legends looks absolutely gorgeous with its cel-shading 3D art style and almost painting-like setting. Technical difficulties aside, we'll talk about those later, the newly remodeled Sinnoh region is breathtaking in its scope. You'll scale mountains, run through fields, climb trees, maybe, and do sick ninja dodge rolls. You have to say ninja while you're dodging or it doesn't count. There is so much to look at and get excited about in this trailer. Although Legends is not just a visual, impactful, and expansive wild area. Rather, the new project is an experimentation of new types of gameplay for the main series, fusing actual open-world elements into traditional Pokemon gameplay to create something new and innovative for the series. While we don't have much confirmed yet, we do have a little more info on what makes Legends different thanks to some Japanese screenshots. I won't show you these screenshots for fear of the Pokemon company striking my video, but basically, the combat is stepping away from traditional Pokemon combat in favor of an active time battle system, ATB for short. You'll still lead your Pokemon to battle with 4 moves, but this time MMO style. Battle happens in real time, although you will have an option to either accept or run away, so you need to act quick and effectively to weaken the wild monster before catching it. If you don't summon a Pokemon to fight the oncoming monsters, they will attack, beating you into submission. Again, you'll have the option to fight with your Pokemon or run away, but once you click fight, it's game on. If you don't have any Pokemon to fight with, the wild Pokemon will attack you. For example, remember when you first walked into the wild area and some aggressive Pokemon would start chasing you? Didn't that scare you a little bit? Well, imagine that, but now the Pokemon can literally beat the crap out of you. It's a dangerous world out there, kid. Since neither of these points were shown in detail in the trailer, we can't say for sure this is how it'll play out, but the Japanese screenshots look pretty credible. If true, this type of gameplay would evolve the typical combat system to a more MMO style of game, hopefully to the series' benefit. Honestly, a lot of these changes sound similar to another Nintendo franchise. No, not Zelda. Well, I mean, maybe a bit. There's a lot of comparisons to be made with some of the visual presentation and the simplistic piano-based music. It's hard not to compare, especially for a Nintendo fan. But I was thinking more Xenoblade. With an ATB combat system, battles that start almost instantly in the overworld, potential boss Pokemon, and huge, beautiful areas to explore, you could almost call Legends a crossover with Xenoblade. Let's be grateful they drew the line before Pokemon waifus. Will you take me to Mount Cornet? I mean, yeah, sure, I can do that. Anything for you, Baniri. Thank you. Now place your hand on my chest.
Pervert!
Xenoblade is a great example of an exploration-heavy JRPG done right. Open space, beautiful settings, very little hallways, hidden secrets, and many creatures to explore. It's one of the reasons I love the series, besides waifus. If Pokemon Legends plans to take this monolith-soft approach to gameplay, then I think we're in for one of the greatest Pokemon adventures of our lifetime. That all being said, this is Game Freak we are talking about, not Monolith Soft. The Pokemon series is notoriously known for playing it safe and simple, and doesn't have as much experience in the 3D realm as you would hope, let alone open world. So seeing Game Freak stretch their creative muscles with Legends is refreshing, but also worrisome. Looking back at the trailer, the frame rate was laughable, the resolution blurry, the overworld empty. It looked like a rough proof of concept build. Because of that, I don't blame anybody who looks at Legends and is a little worried. To be fair, Game Freak has more than a year before release, so there's still time to flesh out the final project. However, this is potentially the most ambitious project the development team has undertaken since the original game. Do they have the ability to create a fun open world to explore? Based on the Crown Tundra DLC, potentially yes, but even that world was a little more barren than I like for an exploration-based game. There's more to an open world than just a vast, spacious field. You need secrets to discover in that world, with people and places to interact with, just as you would do in the 2D Pokemon games. Of course, catching and battling will always be the primary focus, but Legends has the opportunity, and should take the opportunity, to introduce new gameplay elements for the series, telling a rich, vibrant story with rewarding discovery. Plus, the Crown Tundra DLC was based on the typical turn-based combat, not ATB-style gameplay. Developing an overworld with combat in mind, I imagine requires a little more planning than, say, typically transitioning into a battle menu. Although I could be wrong about that, I'm not a developer. Another minor worry I have is the village itself. Mainly that the trailer suggests there will only be one. A tad worrisome, since finding a new town or even a campsite in the overworld can be a nice break from the empty wilderness and give the player something to discover. If this is the only town in the entire game, I hope they fill it with plenty of NPCs for us to interact with. Otherwise, what's the point? Maybe the townspeople will give you side quests, such as catching this rampaging Pokemon, finding a lost pet, or befriending the legendary god Pokemon Bidoof. At the very least, I hope they do more than just give you tutorial hints, especially if there's only one village. But the trailer did say that this would be the player's base of operation, so at the very least we'll be coming back to this village often. On top of that, will there be trainers to battle? Legends' main objective is to fill in the first ever Sinnoh Pokédex, but that doesn't mean there can't be trainers both inside and outside the village who want to put your skills to the test, right? Based on the trailer, however, there might not be. Even the website says that this is before trainers and Pokemon leagues were a thing. I'm not expecting a Pokemon league. Maybe Pokemon battles will be there, maybe. It's like the opposite of Let's Go, which had trainer battles but no wild Pokemon battles. I guess you can't have both. Personally, I would like some tougher trainer battles, even if they are not as frequent, just so that the player is tested as they expand their Pokédex and see the newly redesigned Sinnoh. But perhaps I'm hoping for too much. Maybe they're saving that for Gen 9. Either way, Legends is without a doubt Game Freak's most ambitious project in a long time. I don't expect Legends to revolutionize the action-adventure RPG genre or even bring in new ideas to the genre. In fact, it'll probably be pretty basic. But when compared to recent Pokemon games, Legends could open the series to a well of new possibilities. Although there is no way this releases in early 2022, I'm calling it now. Unless Game Freak gets some help. Better keep Monolith Soft on speed dial, just in case. Thank you so much for watching! Are you excited for this ambitious new project from Game Freak? Are you worried that this could fall flat on its face? Let me know in the comments below. I still have plenty of thoughts to share about Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl, but that will have to wait until the next video. If you liked what you saw, then be sure to subscribe for more Pokemon and Nintendo goodness, and I hope to see you next time.
Goodbye, you good people.
Gen 4 remakes confirmed. Whew, I can't believe it actually worked. Whew. And now, to put my real plan into action.